Hello everybody and welcome to a very quick knockoff review. This is a selection of the oversized Siege figures that we seem to be in abundance of at the moment. Getting waves and waves of these being released. These three came from Sirtoys. I would include a link in the description below for each and every one. I thought I'd quickly review these because they've just announced that there's this guy here, but he's now been done in a MP scale, 23 centimeters I think, so it's more like MP10 size, by AOMech, which I believe is the Black Mamba. And again, they're doing a Megatron in that same scale as well, so it should actually scale very well with these like Voyager height figures. As you can see here, I've got Prime rocking out on his gun axe guitar there, and his backpack, I actually disengage it. Here's the option on a mushroom peg there, it just slides in and out. It does tidy up very nicely, but the Earthriser's Prime does a much better job. But that being said, these are good fun toys, very affordable. The likes of Prime is mainly plastic. There's the odd hint of die cast in there, like around these toes, etc. And I think some of the upper part here is die cast as well. But if you get the likes of Sideswipe, albeit he's a very wide figure, but this section here, this is all die cast. There's some die cast in amongst as well. It's a very stocky looking figure, very dusty as well. It's been sat in my shelf waiting to be reviewed. He's like, please review me. It's been gathering dust, but they're really nice size figures. Hound, probably the weakest of the three, I think. There's just not enough going on with him. He looks a little bit Tonka toyish, but at the same time, still a nice representation of Hound. And I do prefer these kind of oversized scale figures. If you have any of the oversized Combiner Wars or the oversized Titans Returns, those figures, these are all pretty much in scale with those. We're talking about a large Voyager to a small Leader. I mean, to give you all an idea, that's the Studio Series Bumblebee Prime. So these do tower over him both in weight and height. Taking a closer look, let's look at Prime first. They've got a fairly decent head sculpt on there. We've got this detailing across the chest. They decided to opt out of those kind of Cybertronian dirt marks and rust that they gave us with the official Siege line. We don't get any insignias on these either. Arms, they're tidy up pretty nicely. It's just, it really doesn't hold a torch to that new Earth Risers one. But at the same time, you know, if you're looking for a cheap, affordable kind of Voyager Prime, this is a good viable option. We can just slide this back in like so. Plug that back in, and then these can just tab in either side at the back there. Very piercing eyes. Still get the ability to open up the chest. No matrix of leadership in there though. Not a bad look for Prime, not a bad look at all. Now we can get Prime transformed up. Transformation is again pretty straightforward. It's nothing that you wouldn't really expect. Still not a huge fan of that roof canopy that Prime has, but twist this section around, unfold the bumper, bring this all down, split the torso section so that rocks back. There's then space to these wheels to drop all the way down to the base. The arms can then slide in nicely, and these wheels and wheel trims can just slide in, and that will then come back up, push, line all of this up. There's a tab just on the inside, just in there, which allows this to tab in. Make sure you've got this roof section up first before you put these arms down, otherwise you won't be able to do it. It's nigh on impossible to get it twisted back over again. So make sure everything pushes and tabs in like so. And we can open up these chest panels, and this is all going to come in here nicely like so. Close those off, close that off. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Right, we can bring these legs back. This can then come around. This is going to tab in on the underside of here, and then this comes under like so, and then these going to come like this. I'll do that with both legs. And then we have the oversized version of Prime. I honestly can't wait for the oversized version. We can place his weapons on the back there. There's space for his guitar axe and his gun on top there. And just to give you a quick idea of scale, I mean, this is MP10, so I mean it is still dwarfed by the MP10, but it's substantially bigger than what we initially got. Fairly solid, but yeah, in this sort of thing, I think bigger generally is better. So it'll be really interesting to see how the bigger version fares up, and especially their Megatron as well. Right, on to Sideswipe. Good looking figure. Don't like those bingo wings he's got going on, but good stand-in if you don't actually own an official Masterpiece Sideswipe. I think it's a fairly viable option. We've got these sections here which can just come out to the side. This chest panel can come up. There's so much die cast on here. This goes over and covers off his face. The arms are going to rotate in. We've got some wrist folding action like so. Fold that in, bring this in, and then it's going to fold in to the center. And we've got our legs that just fold up and around like so. Same with this side. This up, this down, this up and over like this and like this. And then just slide that back panel over. This closes off, this closes off, this closes off, and this closes off. There we go. There we have one pretty lush looking Sideswipe. I think he's pretty cool. And we can put the gun in like so. Again, really kind of solid piece, and actually rather large, almost MP in scale. Probably not aesthetic wise, but still pretty darn good to say the least. And yes, look, I'm wearing my Christmas jumper today. Hope you're all enjoying your Cyber Monday. Hope you all had a very good Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. We've got these shoulder mount cannons here. I love this kind of spare tire which just pops on the back. Again, a lot of die cast around Hound's chest area. Now, I have made an apology video to my Patreons, and I will say the same to all my regular supporters as well. I've been very busy lately, that's why I haven't done much in the way of reviews. I've just had an assignment, had to go in for university, and I got an exam this week, and yeah, I've got more assignments due in, so I'm just trying to juggle life in general at the moment, but I'm doing a pretty good job juggling. It's just It's just unfortunately that, a bit unfortunate that these reviews have had to take a back seat just for this week. Because I thoroughly enjoy doing them. It's hard to put them down, but unfortunately my degree has to take precedent. And I haven't even had a chance to watch any of my favourite reviewers either. All the guys I like to watch, and I is well behind with those as well. There we go. There we have Hound. Wheel goes on the back there, and we've got the armour. Unfortunately, the tabs on these are thicker, so you can't incorporate any of your like little microns or the armour sections that you get with the original Siege figures. But these are big, chunky, armoured bots, and a very welcome selection of oversized KOs. Now, I'd like to say these are all compatible with one another, but they're not. Prime's holes are actually smaller than Hound's and Sideswipe, which would suggest to me that he is actually made by a different company. So just bear that in mind if you like to kind of double up with your ammo and your armor. Just take into consideration that Primes probably won't fit on your other figures, but I mean, we could get Spike or somewhere in there, and I mean, again, bringing in MP10, that's a fairly decent scale, isn't it? Like I said, good, fun, chunky toys. Not afraid for my kids to play with these. There's no real fear that they're going to break. These are definitely aimed at the younger generations, obviously still 13 plus. But yeah, thoroughly enjoying the oversized stuff at the moment. Got lots more to come, lots of bootleg reviews lined up, as well as some really awesome contents on my main channel as well. So stay tuned. Include a link in the description below where these can be purchased if you want to see the review of the original Prime. I'll attach that to the little info button at the top here, and until next time, myself, Sirtoys, and the oversized Siege figures are goodbye.
BPF.